Listen up, fellas. I want to tell you why you shouldn't be complaining about women's preferences. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a different perspective on why women say what they say, why they say what they want out of us men. So we're going to get straight into it. Firstly, the main reason why you should not be complaining about women's preferences is it's their preferences. You know, like complaining isn't going to change anything. Complaining isn't going to change anything in any aspect of life. I tell young men this all the time, like there's no point of talking about something, continuously complaining about why something is. You're either gonna put the actions in and the work in to change that reality, or you're not. It's as simple as that. Complaining changes nothing. Complaining gets you nowhere. Is no point of doing it. Whenever I hear a young guy complaining to me, it's like, all right, so what are you gonna do about this? That's always the question. What are you gonna do about it? And if you don't have an answer on what you're gonna do about it, you need to stop complaining. And that's what you need to be figuring out. What am I about to do about this? So that I ain't gotta complain about it no more. Solve the issue. Men should be problem solvers. We're problem solvers. I've been seeing a lot of conversations on social media between men and women, and men kind of complaining and trying to get women to change their preferences or lower their standards, you know what I'm saying, as they say, and women is kind of like, nah, we ain't going for it, we ain't having that. I just want to kind of break down where a lot of that stuff is kind of rooted in and give a different perspective, you know, so that you can kind of see it from their point of view a little bit and hopefully stop complaining about it and just do what you got to do to make your life easier, make your life better. The biggest preference of them all, of course, is money, that we hear women complain about all the time. You know, they want a guy making six figures, they want a guy making a gazillion dollars, you know what I'm saying? And if you ain't making a gazillion, billion, trillion dollars, then you have no chance with this woman, right? That's what we kind of hearing often. That's the topic of discussion, right? As men, we shouldn't be too much focused on making a certain dollar amount to get women. Your goal and your main focus should be being the best version of yourself, doing the best you possibly can do for yourself and putting yourself in the best possible position that you can be in order to receive a woman and have a family and provide and do all of those things. Put yourself in the best possible position. Everybody's situation is different, so everybody's situation is going to look different, so you got to do what's best for you. A lot of the things that women complain about, a lot of their preferences, it's rooted in their nature. So it ain't gonna change. Now, a woman saying my man has to make 100,000, that isn't rooted in their nature. But a woman wanting to feel secure financially, that's in her nature. Women don't want to feel like, oh man, if I'm talking to this guy, if I'm dating this guy, it's about to be a struggle over here. They don't want to feel like that, right? So that's where it's all rooted in them complaining about them needing a man to make money. They want to feel secure in the relationship or secure with the person that they're dating. So in order to kind of get around that obstacle, you should be making as much money as you possibly can. You should be putting yourself in the best possible position so that you're financially stable on your own without a woman, and you're financially stable enough to where you know, okay, I'm in a position to where if I started to date a woman, if I got a girl or a wife in my life, I'll be able to support me and I'll also be able to support her. If you're not in a position where you can support yourself currently as a man, you shouldn't be dating, period. There's no point in you dating and trying to find you a girlfriend, trying to find you a woman, and you can't support yourself. You hustling backwards at that point. Get yourself in a position where you're financially stable, you can take care of your own, and you're living comfortably on your own. Do that first, then go out and find you a woman. There's no point in trying to drag a woman along in your struggles. You know what I'm saying? You already struggling. What you trying to get somebody, they're gonna be struggling? That just makes no sense. You won't have to hear those complaints as much if you put yourself in a position where you're financially stable, you're financially secure, and you know in your heart of hearts that you can afford to date a woman, to have a wife, to start a family, and all those things, right? Get on your grind, bro. Get your money up. I'm not saying go out here and get you a woman that's gonna be a bum and you gotta sponsor her whole entire life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should be in the position, you should be financially stable enough to take care of yourself and to take care of your partner, so that when you do meet a woman and she's coming in, she's doing whatever she does, we're not really dependent on her and her finances. So she'll feel a lot more secure in a relationship knowing that this man isn't dependent on my finance. My finances are just an addition to the relationship. She'll feel way more secure that way. And then when you get to that level, then you go out and date. So that's one preference that it ain't gonna change. There's no point in complaining. Stop trying to get women to say, oh, I date a man that make $20,000 a year. Stop doing that. It ain't gonna happen, bro. Get your money up and then start dating. It is what it is. And that preference, go out the window. They want to feel financially secure as they should. They'll be able to thrive and be a better woman for you if you doing what you supposed to do. She'll be able to do what she's supposed to do. So that's that preference, money. Next, looks. I made a whole video on the importance of a man's appearance. I tagged that in this video somewhere. Looks is another thing that women prefer. They prefer a guy that looks good or a guy that has a nice appearance. As a man, you should be working on your appearance. They're not so much focused on looks in a way how we are, you know. Again, in their nature, they want to feel secure, right? I'll tell you a story. I was talking to this chick. This was years ago, but I was a really skinny, small dude. I remember talking to this chick and her homegirl telling me like, yeah, she like you and all that, but she don't feel safe. She don't feel secure with you. She feel like you skinny as hell. Like, for real. That's just real talk, real story. This real life conversation I had with one of this homegirl's friends. And I'm like, damn, that shit hit me differently back then because I've never been a guy to struggle with getting girls, right? So this was something that I had never even heard before. It was never even a part of my life where a chick was like, I don't feel safe with this dude because he's skinny as hell. That shit blew my mind. Like, what? But they got every right to feel that way, right? So whether you a super skinny dude or whether you a super fat, out of shape dude, if a woman don't feel secure and safe walking down the street with you, if she doesn't feel like you're in a position to protect her, she ain't gonna do it. That's another preference. It ain't going nowhere. So you know what you gotta do. I said in every video, get in the gym. Whether you small guy trying to gain or big guy trying to lose, get in the gym, right? I had this one chick tell me she couldn't talk to a guy that's fat and out of shape because if anything was to go down, she feels like he couldn't protect her. He wouldn't be able to get up out of Dodge or whatever the case may be because he got too much weight on him. And it ain't gonna work. It's a preference that it ain't going nowhere. So don't try and convince them and tell them, oh, you should be willing to talk to a guy. Get in the gym, bro. Height is something that we can't do anything about. We don't get to choose how tall we are, right? We all choose a dope ass height if we could, but we can't. So one of the things that you can control is your weight, right? And your physique. You can control that by getting in the gym, working out, and that'll make the women feel more comfortable when they're with you. They feel like you can protect them because you all ripped and jacked up looking like young Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? You ain't gotta go that extreme, but get in the gym and that'll help with the appearance preference that women have. They feel safe and secure. Money and appearance. Those preferences aren't going anywhere. Get used to them. Another preference that women are complaining about, personality, man. That's another thing that's just not going anywhere, bro. I don't see that happening no time soon, bro. Personality, man. I hear this almost as much, if not more, than the money preference, right? I hear women say like, I just want to feel a connection, or I want to feel good when I'm with this person, right? A lot of you guys have limited interaction or limited encounters with women. So when you get around women, you acting awkward, or you moving awkward, you moving funny. You know what I'm saying? And that immediately turns the woman off and she's like, I can't see myself with this dude. There's no connection there. So what I would suggest, I'm not suggesting anybody change who they are. I would suggest, fellas, work on putting yourself in more social settings and getting more practice with engaging and interacting with the opposite sex, right? Forcing yourself to have conversations with women in as many different scenarios as possible. You don't necessarily have to try and shoot your shot. You don't have to try to get on these women, you know what I'm saying, trying to get their number and all these things. You don't have to do that, but learning how to have conversations with women, things that you should say and shouldn't say, right? Not being awkward, not being weird. You know, when you around these shits, like you getting invited to a friend's baby shower or a friend's birthday party or whatever the case may be, where you know it's going to be women, try to make it a priority to go to these things and just have conversations with the opposite sex. Work on your engagement with women. The more you do anything, the better you're going to get at it. So I would just encourage that. Sparking conversation with the opposite sex so that you get good at it, because personality is a huge key, man. They want a guy with a good personality. It is what it is. They want a guy with money. They want a guy that look good. All these things, it is what it is, right? And it's things that you can do as a man to get better in these areas instead of complaining, because complaining gets us nowhere. So assets, right? It's another part of their nature of them feeling secure. The home that you have, a woman wants to feel secure when she's there. That's an important asset. The vehicle that you drive, it doesn't have to be the newest, most best, most luxurious vehicle, but she wants to feel secure in that vehicle. I had a conversation with someone and they were telling me about a guy that they know. The guy is doing well for himself, but for whatever reason, he doesn't want to upgrade his vehicle. The vehicle is very old, very outdated, and it's like you never know when it's gonna break down type shit, and he just won't get a new car, right? And so he had a woman tell him like, yo, I'm not about to deal with this. I'm not about to deal with you in this whip, man. Like, You're a grown adult male. Get you a new whip. All of these things, women want to feel secure. Most of the things that they're complaining about is just a lack of security. They want to feel secure in almost every aspect. A lot of you guys are complaining about the things that women say that they want, and you're not even in a position to correctly court a woman or correctly date a woman. You're not even in a position to correctly do that. So why are you even complaining anyway? You complaining about a game that you can't even play. Get yourself together first, then play the game. And then lastly, women say a lot of times, I want a guy that's emotionally available, right? We hear that all the time, those words, emotionally available. He wasn't emotionally available, blah, 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 blah. They want to feel secure emotionally as well. What you can do, fellas, is work on perspective. I'm huge on perspective, man. It's so easy to see everything from our lens as men, and it's so easy for them to see everything from their lens as women. But how often do you try and put yourself in the shoes of the other person that you're encountering with? Just work on trying to see their perspective, trying to see where they're coming from. And I promise you will start getting a lot better results. Work on listening, not listening to respond, but actually listening and hearing what they're saying, processing what they're saying, and then being able to put together an educated response. But emotionally, they want to feel like I can come to this person, tell this person whatever, and not get slighted for it or not get like shunned for it, or they don't want to get to a point where they're thinking like, man, I can't come to my dude and tell him this. If they feel like that, you about to start losing, because now she's gonna be telling other people, you know what I'm saying, about what she should be telling you about. Don't be so defensive and don't be so uptight and angry about everything your girl come and tell you, because she gonna shut down. She ain't gonna want to keep talking to you. So work on the emotional availability. I don't even really like those words for real, but that's what they saying out here. Work on the emotional availability, work on listening, work on your responses. You know what I'm saying? If you need to go to therapy, if you got anger issues, whatever the case may be, work on that stuff, man. Like domestic violence, if you super angry, go get help, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are y'all doing, man? You know what I'm saying? Putting your hands on women, arguing with women all the time. Like, all that stuff is cooked, bro. Like, that's lame shit. These key areas, money, appearance, emotional availability, your assets, all of these things are areas that women are complaining about that you should not be tripping on, right? You shouldn't be complaining about their preferences. These are what this is the stuff that they prefer to have in a guy. You shouldn't be complaining on it because they're valid points. And it all lies in security. It all lies in them feeling secure in each of these areas. That's just women's nature. They want to feel secure. So if you're talking about they need to change that, good luck, bro. You're not changing their nature and they're not changing our nature. Hopefully this video kind of changed your perspective on what they're saying and how you might view these things that they're saying, and we can kind of get a few of these guys to stop complaining about this shit and just go be better men overall. You know what I'm saying? And the world will be a better place. So if you know anybody that could use this information, benefit from this information, share the video, like it, subscribe, comment, all of that. And I got more videos on the way. Peace.